of what I was going to show you today. Okay, this is what we're going to look like.
Okay.
So what I was trying to use this to explain is how to create a bunch of paths and then use them selectively, if you will, to kind of control things like shadows. So I have a whole thing here, but I couldn't come up with a real good way to demonstrate it on the skull, so I chose to just do it this way, where I've got just the shape of the head. Okay, but what I'm trying to do, so I'm trying to emulate this shadow on your neck. Okay, and then the other little bit of shadow from behind your throat here. Okay, so what I started with, let's go to the path window. So I actually have, let me close the photo. I could do it all the way from scratch maybe here. So the first thing I have is a path that represents, can you see that line?
Yeah.
Okay, it represents the entire head, if you will.
Could you make a background that's completely white instead of the checkerboard?
Yeah, I got one. Okay, so I've got this path that I made that basically just circles where represents the boundary of your head, okay, your face. And then the first thing I did was I went and got a value, and I do this a lot when I make a path, almost always the start. And then what I'll do is I'll try to take some value that I'm envisioning being the value of that surface in light. And when the path is selected, I can go to I'm going to make a new, so I'll start from scratch. I'll make a new, let me label this so I don't forget. I'll make a new layer. I'll go back to the path menu with that new layer selected, and I'll hit this fill. So now it takes the value there and fills it. All right. So this is often the way I'll start. That would be, when I'm doing the skull or anything. So I've got, like when you work on maybe a piece of gray pastel paper and then you do darks and lights on the paper. So I kind of approach often if I'm drawing right on the computer, that same way. Okay.
Do you save the path as well?
Do I what?
Do you save the path as well?
Sure, all the paths are automatically saved because I've given them names. So once I write the name of the path, okay, so that's a good question, because if you don't write the name, if you instead, when you create a path, we'll call it the work path. Okay, if you don't give that, double click that work path and give it a name, it will then continue to write on top of the work path, right? So if you want individual paths like I want here, I want to write it.
If you don't mind, can you show me how do you create that path?
We did that.
Yeah, you already showed me, but if you don't mind again, in order to.
Okay, so, okay.
I mean, just a quick word, maybe.
So basically what you do is you take the pen tool.
Yeah.
And you start marking points and you drag. Now, again, the way I think about it is I envision it as, because I like to fish, a fishing reel, okay, with a spool of line on it.
Okay.
The key is when you touch it, you don't stop, you actually pull. Okay, so you pull, I don't know if you can quite make it out, but there's little handles here, and I'm pulling those handles in the direction I want the path to go, unless I come to a point where I want a very sharp turn. The other thing I do when I'm making the path is I'm not too focused or too concerned that I get it absolutely perfect, because I'm going to edit it. All right? So that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why do you start the path with pulling it? Does that help?
Because if I don't pull it, then I get this sharp. In other words, I want to have the least amount of points possible. Okay, the thing that lets me do that is this extension of this line. See, I don't need this line I don't need so many points if I work with these handles that add or take away.
Right.
So if I don't pull it, what I'm going to get is a point that has doesn't have any handles. And I can always correct it by holding the Option key and getting that caret, which gives me that change direction point. So let's say like right here, I need a very sharp point. If I use the caret with the Option key depressed, I can move one handle now independent of the other.
Okay.
So the point of using the or moving the handles right away is to give the software the idea of what direction do I want to go. What direction should this line that's kind of coming off this spool be headed? Okay. And again, one of the goals is trying to get as few points as possible. Sometimes, like here, I'm better off eliminating that point and using the handles to push and pull the line in. Does that make sense? Okay. So like here, see all these points I have here? I really don't need that point. I think I can get away with this point. Now here I really want to get this corner of the eyelid, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my line down and then have it go out to reach. And then I'm going to grab it with the caret. By holding the Option key, I get that caret and pull that back out. Right here, there's a little subtle spot where it's the break in the nose. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move it, use that to reflect the nose, and then because I have the caret, that Option key. Okay. Now I'm using the Command key to give me the arrow. When I get to a point where there is a point, I get the negative or take away point. If I get to a place on the path where there is no point and I put the pen on it, it automatically gives me a plus to say, do you want to add a point there? A space bar lets me just move this around. See, I don't have anything for her lips. Okay, so I'll add a point, pull this out, move this over, use the Option key to get the caret. I cannot remember, quite honestly, the 100% correct term. I think it's called like the change direction. So all these tools are under here. So yeah, it's called the Convert Point tool. Okay. Now, if I just stay on the pen tool, which is what I've been using, then I can use the keyboard commands. Okay. So the Command key gives me the arrow. The Option key gives me, if I'm on a point, the Option key will give me the Convert Point tool. Okay? Does that help you with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So what I'm going to do, just for a second here, so this doesn't get ridiculously long, I'm going to stop the recording.